Hello and welcome to the iPath Podcast, where I reveal the secrets, identities, and processes of auto damage appraisers, adjusters, and companies. Whether you're currently in the industry or interested in what it takes, thank you for being here. I am your host and your guide, Chris Stanley. Today on episode 26, I want to talk about how technology is making adjusters, and if you're a veteran adjuster especially, more valuable. Many times we believe that when new technology comes around, we're made less valuable for some reason, and that's not always the case. But I want you to know that you are more valuable now than you've ever been before. And we'll see that it's kind of the opposite of what we normally think. But before we get into that, today's episode is brought to you by Badger Mapping. Badger Mapping is the very best mapping software I found for auto adjusters and appraisers. Badger Mapping has an amazing route optimization that now handles my least favorite part of the job, determining which person to call first, which one to inspect, so on and so forth. Badger Mapping is truly a management system for you and any company that you work for. Get 2 free months of Badger Mapping for being an iPath listener. That's 2 free months. Visit iPath.com/Badger Mapping, sign up for the free trial, and follow the instructions on that screen to earn the 2 free months through iPath. Okay, on to the main topic. IA26, how technology is making adjusters and you more valuable. I know that if you look back through history, everyone is always worried about their job being in jeopardy, whether it's the invention of the automobile. And guess what? Buggy, whip makers, horseshoe, the people who made the horses, can't even think of what they're called right now, those blacksmiths, they all were threatened by the invention of the car. And, their jobs might have went away. They really did. And there was a real struggle for them in the short term. But over the long term, there was quite a shift. It was a job creator. Many more people went to creating cars. Many more jobs were born out of that. The wealth of the entire nation raised. The entire world raised. Standard of living came up, so everything costs less. So I just really want to talk about this, and this is more philosophical in nature than practical today. But we as current adjusters and you as a future adjuster, you might be looking at the technology going, oh man, I just don't know if adjusting is going to be around. Well, in 10 years. Well, I've been in it for 9 and it hasn't changed that much. It's changed a lot, but even it hasn't changed that much from when I started. And I'm pretty sure in some form or fashion, people are still going to be inspecting automobiles, whether somebody drives them or they're driverless is another question. But they're still going to be inspecting them in 10 years, and there's still going to be a place for you, whether it's a remote location, working for your desk, or whatever the case may be, but there's still going to be a job. But we look at it and we go, man, they're making me less valuable. I used to be the one to get paid to go take photos. Now the customer takes photos. I used to be the one to write an estimate. Now they have hail scanning technology that counts how many dents are on the car. And yes, that does exist. And now I'm not as valuable. So what's going to happen to me? These are my skills. This is what I do for a living. And I'm here to tell you that in the short term, at least, you're actually becoming more valuable because of the technology that's here. We're in this transition phase where the technology's there, but it's not there enough. And more importantly, the people are not adapting it as much as they would think. You would think an insured would want to pick up their phone, take photos of the car, and send it in. But there's a pain point there. From a business perspective where the customer may not want to deal with that, or they may want to get that red carpet customer service I talk so much about with an adjuster coming out talking to a live person. When DRPs rolled out, I'm sure adjusters thought their jobs were over. It's all going to the body shop. Well, not necessarily, and now the adjusters re-inspect the DRP. So, there's the checks and balances there. So who knows what the job's really going to be like? But I don't see it disappearing, especially not anytime soon. And in the short term, I think there's some really exciting things for you going on. So the first way it's making you more valuable is the more obvious way. It's gotten easier. Oh man, making a living is so much easier doing adjusting and auto damage appraising and being an estimator at a body shop than it used to be. And there's a lot of people in the industry who view this as a negative thing, and it does have some negative connotations. We've lowered the standard metrics of what is needed to get into the body shop so much that the people who have been doing it for a long time, they just can't believe it. It scares them to death, and I understand. I totally get where they're coming from. It's crazy, but it's just like the people who used to know how to code a computer. Look at what we do now, drag and drop. It's not even WordPress anymore to make a website. It's just drag and drop. And like these people don't know what they're doing, but there's so many more people who can now make a website. It's so much more accessible than it used to be. And overall, for the industry and overall for consumers, I think it's actually an improvement. And yes, we have to have checks and balances, and the shops have to make sure they do the repairs correctly. And when a numbskull IA says to replace a used quarter panel, they need to correct that. They need to be like, no, this is not how we need to do the right repair. This is not the right way, even though it's how the insurance company wanted it written. So there's all these things that are negatives, but it's also a positive because so many more people are involved. The process for the insured, the owner, who this is all about ultimately in the end, has been streamlined and sped up so much to get the car in a shop, to put it in the right hands, which is the repairer, who knows how the car needs to be fixed to get this thing done right. And so let's talk about some of that technology that's making it easier and some of the improvements that have happened over the last 10, 20 years that have just really made making a living that much easier. Okay, with this easy technology, obviously, it's digital cameras. That was just crazy. When digital cameras came out and they went away from Polaroids, that was a game changer for adjusters. They used to have to mail in the Polaroids to get them developed, all these things that took days and weeks. And so rental car, all the different things, all the metrics were totally shortened just when digital cameras came out. And now with smartphones that do the digital camera, the GPS, the phone calling, the voicemail, all these things make this process a lot smoother than what it used to be and a lot quicker for the insured. And it makes it a lot easier for you as an adjuster to keep track of everything and to have estimating software to not have to know what the latest BMW part is called, whatever their special word for it is, to be able to look at it, look at the car, and make an educated decision about what part is damaged. This is a huge improvement because it used to be books and books and books that you had to look through and lengthy estimating times and to get this process going. But now you can write an estimate in, under an hour. That was unheard of before. It took so long to find the right book, to handwrite an estimate, and now it can instantly be in the hands of the insurance company to start getting the insured back on the road. And ultimately, that's the goal, is we want that car repaired right and back with the owner. So this is a huge improvement for you, and you still can make a living doing it. Yes, there are some pay drops over the last decade, or it really hasn't been any pay raises as inflation has hit. A lot of adjusters are still making 60 to 100,000, but there is a lot more adjusters now than there used to be. So overall, is that better or worse? Yeah, it's better if you're one of the few, but overall it's better for the industry that there's more adjusters, the insureds are getting taken care of faster, and you still can make a good living being an insurance adjuster or appraiser. And with scheduling, oh my goodness, with something like I talked about at the beginning, Badger mapping, you're scheduling so easy with that kind of technology. And so these tools make it easier for us, but yet we still make a living. To me, that's a bonus. The insured's getting taken care of quicker because of this technology. That's a bonus. In real time, I can look at a car with a shop. If I miss something, that's a bonus. I mean, that's huge. So overall, first point is the technology. It's making it easier. All right. Second point is you could learn 24/7. I mean, you can improve online at the drop of a hat. And with this improving, you're not having to go to a physical location to learn all the time. You can get feedback online. You can have phone conversations with Skype that you see what they're looking at. You can use LiveGenic to see what the customer appraiser sees. You can learn at any time, and location and time are not as much of a hindrance. And also, there's great schools online that you can learn from. You can get your Texas All Lines online. You can learn the basics of estimating online. You can oh my goodness, there's just so much you can do online. And I think that is a huge benefit to you as an adjuster, because one, it does let the bar to entry down, because you don't have to go to school for 4 or 8 years to get a degree to get started in this. You could start learning today before it's even your job. So if you're a future adjuster, I encourage you to go online and start learning. This is a career. You got to invest time, effort, and energy into it. But this isn't an exclusive career that's held back from you anymore. You now have things that are accessible to you that were not accessible to you years ago, thanks to the internet, thanks to the software developments, and just the overall mentality that has shifted, that this is not something that needs to be kept in the dark. We need people to improve. We need people to learn online. And so let's talk about some of those places you can go learn anytime. Obviously, there's the IA Path. You already listened to the podcast, but also I have courses online. If you don't know about them, I have one called Crash Course. It's the basics of how to do the job of a day-to-day collision appraiser. And this is not detailed estimatics. This is understand what you're getting into, how to input it into CCC1, because you got to learn the estimatics, and it's hard to do that over online. It is possible, but this course goes over the basic parts of the car, how to start identifying damage, but it doesn't really cover detailed estimatics like the thickness of the metal, the I-CAR standards, welding, all those things. I don't teach you how to fix the car, but I teach you the basics of how to do a job. It's more job training. And then I also have the new course you're going to hear about, and you might have heard about it last week, is Hail Score, where I teach you the basics of a hail catastrophe, how to be ready when you hit the ground, to know how to take care of the customer, to know how to process a claim, to know how to use CCC1, to know how to use a PDR matrix. All these things that are basic, you can learn them online before you hit the ground, so you're actually delivering not only to the insurance company, the appraisal company, or the PDR company, but to the customer themselves to help them get back on the road quicker and be serviced at a higher level of customer service. Number 2, Adjuster Pro. There is some great stuff on Adjuster Pro, and a lot of it's for property, but you can get your All Lines license online at Adjuster Pro. They have some great stuff there. Highly encourage you to check it out. Found the new one in the last few weeks called Repair University by Collision Hub. Absolutely love their stuff. They are masters of the estimatics, of the I-CAR standards, of the repair of the vehicle. I've never done a repair of the vehicle, so I'm not going to tell you how to repair a frame rail or the exact intricate methods they're going to use, because I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend I do. But they do, and they give away tons of their stuff completely free online. So I'll have links in the show notes to all these to where you can go find them. And how I found Repair University was through YouTube. And there's other stuff on YouTube by paintless dent repair companies, body shops, even insurance companies, about how to learn about this process online, how to learn about cars online, how to learn about new techniques. So don't be afraid to go discover new things. You don't need to just hang out at IA Path. You need to learn about this industry as a whole. If this is going to be your career, let's take it serious like it's your career. Podcasts. Obviously, you're listening to one. There's other ones out there in the industry, so go find them. Check them out. Okay, so I hinted and kind of talked around it a little bit earlier in the mentality of, you're not necessarily stepping down with all this new technology, because there's really a new step in the industry. There's a new rung on the ladder, and that rung is down. And that is the rung I kind of refer to it as an appraiser. Appraiser is really a word, especially an independent appraiser, is used very negatively by some people because they are not usually as trained as a body shop estimator or a collision repairman, body man, but their functionality is so much different. And this role in this rung has been expanded down so much more with companies like We Go Look, with OnSource, that are literally taking photos and sending them off to another company to write an estimate off of photos. Okay, the I believe that the estimating has gone down because of these things. Because of technology, the quality of estimates has gone down. But that's not bothering the insurance industry any, because they save money. When the estimates are not as good, they save money. And then the body shops are able, once they get it in, to tear it down, to look at it and get a really good understanding of what is needed by spending a lot of time with it. Those appraisers are getting paid anywhere from $20 to $60 a car. They're not going to take the car apart at the owner's house and put it back together for $20 to $60. It just isn't going to happen. So the expectation level on an appraiser is much lower than even a staff adjuster who is handling a claim start to finish, who is writing checks to the customer. So there is this step down, and it's been expanded, and it's the role of an independent appraiser, but it's even lower with like lookers, as they're called with We Go Look, photos only guys. And that's been going on for years. I had guys hire me as photos only when I was first starting, but now it's becoming more official and accepted. Whether that's good or bad, it's good that more people are getting introduced and more people are making money on the side, able to better their families' lives. But it's bad on the estimating side, so we're not as getting as accurate of estimates. But for you as a veteran, or for you as somebody who wants to take this as your full-time career, I think there's even greater value because this step exists, because a lot of people take the entry level and they stay there. They don't ever really want to climb up any higher. Why would I ever want to be a manager? Why would I ever want to be responsible for a checkbook of an insurance company like an adjuster? Why would I do that? I'd rather just stay with what I know. It's easy. So there's going to be a lot of people who kind of stay at that appraiser looker level. And I'm not even saying you veteran appraisers. I'm a veteran appraiser. You know what I'm talking about, the difference between a veteran appraiser and a looker. There's a total difference, but I still consider that kind of the appraisal level. And so that is down, but it's making those veterans way more valuable. And let's talk about that now. So veterans are desperately needed right now. I mean, so badly. Veterans are needed. They're needed for management. They're needed for quality control. They're needed for review. They're needed for training. And if you're sitting around still making $60 a file to write a claim, that's okay. But if you're looking to make more money, you as a veteran is needed. And it's going to be more and more apparent shortly as We Go Look, OnSource, and all these Snapsheet, all these different companies continue to evolve and dominate more and more of the market. The veteran appraiser and adjuster, that's the everyday guy making $60 to $70 a file, is going to diminish, and because they're going to find ways to replace you for cheaper. And that's the bad part. That's the downgrading that most people think of. But the upside is you become that much more valuable. Now you are needed to oversee this huge influx of people that are coming in. So there is this opportunity to train, to manage a huge number of people that are coming in. The numbers We Go Look has signed up for looks is unbelievable. Well, who's managing all those people? Who's training them? Who's reviewing them? Who's writing their sheets from home on their comfy couch? You could probably make the same money if you position yourself right sitting at home. So I think you need to view technology not as the enemy, but figure out how to embrace your role with the new technology, because it's coming. Whether we like it or not, it is coming. And those of us who don't want to change and adapt, we're going to get run over. And we're going to be stuck, and we're going to be hurt, and we're going to have to take jobs we don't want to take. But if we look at the technology and go, okay, how can we do our job better and better the customer service for the customer? Because you never lose when you try to better the customer service for your customers, whether it's the insurance company, the body shop, the appraisal company, or the actual owner of the vehicle. If you want to give better customer service, look at the technology, determine how to do it better, and implement it. Then don't be afraid to talk about that stuff, because by talking about it, you're going to find other people who think the way you think. You're going to find other people that'll rally to the way you rally, and people are going to take notice. When you know actually what you're talking about, people take notice, and they need you. They desperately need you in this world of rapidly declining skills. And it's more and more on-demand, warm bodies, as they say it in the industry. A veteran who understands repair even a little bit is 100 times more valuable than someone who can go take photos. So you are needed. You're worth more. There's less of you than there is going to be of the lookers. So you are, in fact, the minority and becoming more and more so. So take advantage of that. Look at technology, figure out how to leverage it to your advantage, how to use it to give better customer service to all parties, and become the adjuster that you can with this technology. And don't settle for less. Give that red carpet customer service. Okay, I hope that has helped you, even if it was just an open air conversation where I can get you thinking about where the industry's headed. Even if that's all this was a nice little monologue to make you think about things a little different. I hope it helped. And I'm going to end today with reminding you that we have the Hail Score course on iapath.com and the Crash Course online. If you're interested in getting started, these are great places to get started. They are by no means a comprehensive guide to being an expert adjuster, because you can't learn that without getting in. You have to get in. You have to get started. You have to pair up with senior veterans and learn the skill sets. But I can help you get started by learning the process, because when you start working, I don't want you thinking about how to upload photos or how to take a photo or what photos you need to take. You need to be thinking about the right repair for the vehicle and how to give amazing customer service. So check out iapath.com and keep walking your path. Thank you for listening. This is your guide, Chris Stanley.